Hey guys, got another one here. Got us a free 99 Troy-bilt power washer. So we got the Briggs and Stratton Professional Series. So yeah, kind of see if we can't get this working and running. Kind of first glance at it, I noticed is missing the whole air box here in the filter and all that stuff. Looks like it might have just broken off. So we'll have to see. There might be some goo in there, you know. We'll take that off. See if we can't crank it over and see what happens here. But first glance, the unit doesn't look too bad, so that's good. This isn't all rusted out. And see, we get it running, see if that pump's any good. You always want to drain those all out before winter time, if you especially live in one of the northern states, because they'll make that pump crack inside, and it's no good. But you can actually find some of those pump replacements on Amazon or whatnot. They're not too expensive, so they're worth sometimes. You know, if you got a good motor and it just needs a pump, you can especially get it for that free 99 price there. It's, you know, it might be worth it. But let me get some tools here and get this set up, and we'll see what we got. All right, so we got it hooked up here with the little spark tester. We got the switch turned on, so we'll pull this and see if we can't get some spark. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we got a little bit of spark there. That should be good. We'll see if we can't toss some juice in here and see if it'll lick off. Let's see, we got our trusty two-cycle, two-stroke mix there. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Heck yeah, well, that looks like that'll run. Well, since we know we got spark, we got a little pop and bang going there. Let's see what's going on here. It does look like there's we got a little bit of gas in there. It doesn't smell horrible, so I'm just guessing that we're gonna need to get in here and take this carb off. So it's always kind of cool if you can get to it. Got the wife's nice Pyrex stuff here. See if we can't set it down here and see what kind of goo comes out. So we'll just pop a wrench on and see what we got here. It's always fun. You let them sit a little bit and see if there's a bunch of water. Most of the time, that's what happens, especially it missing that air filter there. And who knows, it's probably sitting outside for a little bit. It's probably got some water in it. So we'll let this drain out here and let it sit for a second and see what kind of yummy goodness we got in there. Yeah, hard to tell, but we'll let it drain out, and then we'll come back here and see what we got. All right, got the bowl off here, got it all drained out. I'd say it's probably a little dehydrated there, so we'll still let that sit. Sometimes you can see the little bubbles where there's, well, yeah, there's some crud in there, so we'll let that sit a little bit and see what separates. But yeah, I'd say there's some boogers. Let's see what we got here. This would be kind of considered kind of the main jet on some of these. There's not a whole lot of adjustments on them, but you can see that that's not going to let anything. There's a little passageway right there, and that's just gummed up with all this ethanol fuel. So we'll take that off here. I'll come back around. I'll take this guy off, little bolt in there, get that off, disconnect the carb. If I find something else interesting, I'll turn the camera back on here. But we'll get this off and take it over to ultrasonic cleaner and the bench here and see what we got. Yeah, not too bad. A little setup here. Got all that plastic stuff off there. There's just a bolt up front there, two little bolts there, and then you got the little grounding switch here for the magneto. So we'll kind of tuck that out of the way. This got all I just drained. I put a little gas can here and drained out all that bad gas. But it's a little T30 makes this kind of a little easy here. You can just get in there and ratchet it right off. So let's make note here. I'll let you guys remind me how this all goes on there. Just got a little spring here for the throttle. Looks like this might have kind kind of like an auto choke with a little, some of these different engines, there's like where the flywheel is, there's a little fan, and it kind of causes it to open up a little bit there for the choke. But this one's got some fun little apparatuses going on here, so I'll have to take that onto the bench there and just play with it a little bit and see what does what. So cool. Well, I'm gonna keep on getting this off here. All right, got her on the bench here. This cute little thing here. Still trying to figure out what we got going on with all this up here, but I'm trying to see if we can take that off, because I don't really, what I want to do is stick this in the ultrasonic cleaner. It's not hateful, but it's still, you know, it helps get in all those little passageways, especially on these smaller engines here. Any little bit of debris in there just mess them up. So yeah, that's not too hateful right there. It's mostly in the bowl in that little main jet that was messed up. Let's see if we can't get this to focus. Yeah, there's some goo down in there. So yeah, like take as much rubber off as you can here, because if you leave all that on there, let's see if we can't be easy and reuse this guy. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. You just be gentle with it. You can get that off, and most time, yeah, that's gonna come off. So this unit doesn't look very old, so most likely used a couple times to power wash the house, you know, and then sat out in the shed or in the backyard somewhere. But I don't know how these little guys got a little thing there. They may be okay to toss in there. We'll see. Sometimes you do that, they get brittle or whatnot, and doesn't look like we got our idle speed thing. See, all this newer stuff here, you sometimes have little fuel adjustment screws, air fuel mixtures on those, and they got them capped off. Don't let you really mess too much with that anymore. So I say let's go and toss this in here. We do have got the old steam box here. Got it all heated up, got it all ready. Like there's some really good carburetor cleaner online that you can get on Amazon for this, and you can put it in there, and it does a number on these guys. But we'll toss all the bits and bobs in there and get it making some good stew for us, and we'll come back in about half hour and see how it looks. Boy, I got this out of the ultrasonic cleaner. I tell you, I love throwing stuff in there. They just come out looking brand new. That's what I'm talking about right there. So yeah, I think this should run go. Get all the goop out of there. I blew it out. I like taking a little bit of air hose there and just kind of blow out the little passageways, get anything that might still be lingering in there out. But yeah, I'm gonna throw this back together and get it on the machine and see if we there's some fresh dinosaur juice in there and see what happens. But yeah, boy, looks good. Cool. All right, well, I'll be back. Got it all back together here. I'm leaving this part off. I'm gonna order a new air box for it, but yeah, it looks pretty good in there. Let's put some fresh dinosaur juice in there. Let's see. Doesn't have a primer bulb. It's got that auto choke thing, so let's see what we got. We'll give her a couple tugs. We won't let it run too long because we don't have any water hooked up to that pump, so it's not necessarily good for it. But we'll do a quick lick and see if it'll run off the carb. Just a couple pulls, got her primed up, but yeah, well, let's go take it out. I plugged the hose into it and see if we can get some spraying action. Well, as you can tell, I fired it back up here, got the water hooked up, and used itself to clean itself, and it did a pretty fantastic job here. So we're gonna call that pump a good one there. It cleaned up pretty nice here too, so we're gonna call that a win for the books. Not too bad for free 99. Just need some fresh gas and a carb clean. So cool. Well, thanks for joining, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.